Hi, my name is Muhammad Nabil Amshar bin Nozamani from course Diploma in Graphic Design, and my matrix number is DGD191009, and today I'm going to present about history of photography. Introduction of photography. The basic concept of photography has been around since about 5th century BCE. Photography has come a long way in its relative short history. In almost 200 years, the camera developed from a plain box that took blurry photos to the high-touch mini-computers found in today, DSLR and smartphone. Enter to the first camera in the world, that we know it as camera obscura, 470 and 390 BCE. Mozi, Chinese philosopher, founder of Mojin. Mozi is the founder of obscura camera. Mozi described the camera obscura as the locked treasure room. Great masters from different eras like Aristotle, Euclid, Artemius of Tralles, Leonardo da Vinci, Johannes Vermeer also used the camera obscura in their study. However, the invention of the camera and the development of the printed image had not begun until the end of 18th century BCE. And then, this is the picture of the camera obscura. The first permanent images. Photography as we know it today began in late 1830 in France. Joseph Nicepro-Niepce used a portable camera obscura to expose a putty-plate coat with bitumen to light. This is the first recorded image that did not fade quickly. Niepce's success led to a number of other experiments, and photography progressed very rapidly. This is the picture of Joseph Nicepro-Niepce. The daguerreotype is one of a kind highly detailed photography image on a polished copper plate coat with silver. It was introduced in 1839 and became the first popular photographic medium. 1825. People know that the first photograph was taken. It was just one in a series of experiments, but viewed from the window at Lee Grass is the earliest surviving photograph. Nicepro-Niepce used a sheet of a metal with a film of chemicals sprayed on it. 1839. Daguerreotype. Around this time, the word photography began to be used to describe this new industry. From 1839 on, the popular metal plate process known as daguerreotype opened up this mix of art and technology to the mass. In 1841, photographers of this era generally used camera designed and made by themselves or skilled craftsmen, adapting lens made by optical manufacturers to use photographically. Photojournalism, 1848-1865. In addition to its scientific use all and the art produced, photography also made its way into the news. Writing journalistic description and hand-drawn or printed illustration were replaced by photography image. These images were displayed in public shows and published in newspaper and magazine. The first photograph with people. The first ever picture to have a human in it was Bulwer du Temple by Louis Daguerre, taken in 1838. This is the picture of Louis Daguerre. Next is Gratin Dry Plate, 1871. This is the picture of Richard Leach Meadows that create the gratin dry plate. Next, as you can see, early prop work in motion picture projection. Muybridge invented the zooscope in 1878, machine that allows him to project up to 200 single images on a screen. So this is the first motion picture in history. Edward Muybridge was an English photographer important for his pioneering work in photographic studies of motion and early work in motion picture projection. He is the first human that created the motion camera in this earth. 1861, James Clerk Maxwell has created the color photography. Color photography was explored through the 19th century but didn't become truly commercially viable until the middle of the 20th century. This is the first color photo image of a Titan ribbon. Was taken in 1861 by the famous Scottish physicist James Clerk Maxwell, who was famous for his work with electromagnetism. Despite the great influence which photograph had on the photo industry, Maxwell is rarely remembered for this, as his invention in this field of physics simply overshadowed this accomplishment. In 1885, George Eastman, the founder of the Kodak Company. George Eastman was an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and the pioneer of popular photograph and motion picture film. George Eastman started a company called Kodak in the 1880s. Eastman created a flexible roll film that did not require constantly changing the solid plates. This allowed him to develop a self-contained box that had 100 film exposures. The camera had a single lens with no focusing adjustment. The consumer would take pictures and send the camera back to the factory for the film to be developed and prints made. Much like modern disposable cameras, this was the first cameras inexpensive enough for the average person to afford. 1925, as we know, Oscar Bernat is the creator of the Eureka camera. Oscar Bernat was an inventor and German photographer who built in 1913 what would later become the first commercially successful 35mm still camera. Subsequently called Eureka, at Ernst Leeds optician work in Wetzlar. Known as the Eureka for photography, he captures various events in entire series of photographs and became one of the earliest photographers to document the relationship between man and the environment. 1949, the first single lens reflex camera has been created. 1949, the first digital image is created. In the year of 1975, the first digital camera has been created by Steve Cizan. In 1975, Kodak engineer Steve Cizan created the first ever digital camera. It was built using part of kits and leftovers around the Kodak factory, and an early CCD image sensor from Fairchild in 1974. The camera was about the size of a bread box and it took 23 seconds to capture a single image. Introducing smart cameras. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, compact cameras that were capable of making image control decisions on their own were introduced. These point and shoot cameras calculate shutter speed, aperture, and focus, leaving photographers free to concentrate on composition. The automatic cameras became immensely popular with the casual photographers. Professional and serious amateurs continue to prefer to make their own adjustments and enjoy the image control available with SLR cameras. This is around 1970 and 1980. The digital age, 1990. In the 1980s and 1990s, numerous manufacturers worked on cameras that store image electronically. The first of these were point-and-shoot cameras that use digital media instead of film. By 1991, Kodak has produced the first digital camera that was advanced enough to be used successfully by professionals. Other manufacturers quickly followed, and today Canon, Nikon, Pentax, and other manufacturers offer advanced digital SLR cameras. Even the most basic point-and-shoot cameras now take higher quality image than newspaper plate, and smartphone can easily pull off a high-quality printed photograph. Enter the year of 2000, people know it as the new era of the photography, which is this year is the first mobile phone came out with the cameras. Before we end the presentation, I would like to say that this is the bonus scene. First selfie taken by Robert Cornelius. And then, 1861, the world's first Photoshop has been created in this world.